After we finished with the Dustcrete, I reused the forms as the decking for this roof. Fortunately, Stefano was around to help me hold this one to get it started. Once the decking was secured, I came in with some drip edge. This one here should actually be placed after the felt paper, but we got a 15-pound felt onto the roof. And they sell a starter strip for these architectural shingles, these asphalt shingles, but you can also just cut them and use the half for your starter strip, and that saves you buying a bundle that you won't use completely. Then I take the first 6 inches off of the first one so that when we lap the full shingle on top, the seams will be staggered. So I got a bunch of those cut up. Then once we get up on the roof with these, we just make a 3/4 of an inch overlap on all sides, and that will prevent any rain from dripping onto the woodwork. Of course, you can use a nail gun to do this, but my father-in-law was quite the archivist and a big fan of the flea market. And after his passing, when I was cleaning up his belongings, he had a 5-gallon bucket of roofing nails. So I've been using these nails for building projects for 12 years now. And I'm just about to the end of the bucket, but I like to think of him when I'm using them. Now we're onto the actual shingles, and we just stagger them as we install them, and then come back and fill in with the offcuts. You can see the difference in the quality of Dustcrete between the front half of the building here and the back half. You can see where that corner is all mangled up. That was due to our insufficient tamping. And if you watch the plaster video coming up, you'll see how I fixed all those problems. And with the roof on, time to move on to the earthen floor. So this is subsoil that I brought from my place where I had done some excavating. And just running it through a 1/2-inch screen here to get the large rocks out. Because we're pouring a 3/4 inch floor, anything 1/2 inch or smaller is fine in there. And just coming in and removing any Dustcrete or debris. And then it's just a matter of getting a pretty good level on this. Now this road base that we put in here has already been plate compacted, but the traffic of coming in and putting in forms and during the Dustcrete and whatnot has gotten things a little out of even. So I'm just using a guide stick and the laser level to check my elevation and all this, and then screeding it with that longboard to get within about 1/4 of an inch of a plane all the way across, and just moving this material around. And then once we've got it, we'll come in and soak it and come in with a hand tamper and just get everything firm and stable. And having this wet allows the earthen floor itself to cure more slowly, which will minimize cracking. So we've got a pile of sand there, just mason sand, and that subsoil clay that I brought, and a little bit of chopped straw is all we have in here. And just add enough water to this concrete mixer until the adobe will flow like that. These ratios will vary depending on your subsoil. Once back inside, I set these little rails, and once again use a guide stick with the laser level to find a level mark, and then make sure that I set these rails to that line And that allows me to know that I've got a consistent plane throughout the entire floor surface. And we just add material here. I've got wood, plastic, and steel trowels, and just using the plastic one to move the material around and get it pushed where I want it. I didn't end up using that wood one. And then that pool trowel there, that steel trowel, smooths everything off.
Down there, or that you pull out?
Wood comes out and I fill those.
Oh, nice.
But I've leveled them both, so by screeding across them, I'm creating a plane that is true to that.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And then the next one goes across.
We just work this way and
then that way.
So with the material in place, I just screed with this little board and make sure that entire surface is in line with my level marks, and then smooth with a trowel, and then it's just a matter of pulling the wood out, filling in the cracks, and moving on. So each time I move the wood, I re-level that one, and I already know that the one on the left there is correct. So just do a little area at a time and make sure that I can reach comfortably to the back side of it, and keep mixing batches. Now, when I posted a video about earthen floors and the benefits of grounding about 5 years ago, I had a few commenters make snide comments about that being quackery and ridiculous. But if you look at the NIH study on grounding, you will find the information quite compelling. Here is a 84-year-old diabetic woman's foot after she sustained a blister from an ill-fitting boot that had not healed for 8 months. And after 1 week of grounding 30 minutes a day, it looked like this. And after 2 weeks of grounding for 30 minutes a day, it looked like this. And since this is a sauna and a place for healing, having an earthen floor in here provides benefits beyond just those that are derived from raising the body's temperature to a high heat. So in a sauna, an earthen floor is an excellent way to even compound the healing benefits of spending time in a space like this. And denying the benefits of grounding is a rather strange thing for an electrified bag of meat to say, and I imagine that people who resist that concept probably have ugly feet. I encourage you to look that study up. They showed quite a few benefits from grounding, improved sleep, and reduction of tumor formation, and reduction of soreness, and better mental health, and all kinds of benefits from grounding. So that makes this a great floor. And the fact that it costs a fraction of what a frame floor would cost is just a benefit. There's the sauna portion complete, and there's the changing room complete, and with that, we let her rest for about 2 weeks. Now the chickens got in here while we were letting this dry, so just getting all the manure and feathers and sticks out, and then mixing up our boiled linseed oil and mineral spirits. As linseed oil dries, it forms an organic polymer. So we're going to add a good bit of material here and just use a squeegee to spread it around evenly, and then come right back in with successive coats. I ended up putting 4 coats on this floor, and it basically just keeps sucking in. When you get to that point where it starts to pool up, you know you've got it. And the reason that I do it all in one day is because if I didn't, then it would form that polymer coating and it wouldn't take any more. So we just keep loading her in there and then getting her smoothed out. And after 4 coats, it looks something like this. And the floor is done. Be sure to tune in for the next episode of this build when we take the glass out of a sliding glass door and build a redwood frame for it for that big window facing the pasture, and get all of our cedar trim put up, getting ready to plaster this thing. Like, share, subscribe, really helps the channel. Thanks, guys.